Good morning, everybody, and salam sajatra. Very nice to see all of you here today, and hope you've all traveled well and rested well and are all prepared for a very exciting couple days ahead. Yang Berusaha Puan Wan Noraida Binti Wan Mohammed Zain, Chairperson of the ASEAN Commission on the Promotion and Protection of the Rights of Women and Children, and also Deputy Director Generals for Strategy, Department of Social Welfare, Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development in Malaysia, Dr. Kiran Modi, founder of BICON and Udayan Care, Ms. Mikiko Otani, President of Child Rights Connect, Dr. Rinchen Chopel, Director General of South Asia Initiative to End Violence Against Children, distinguished representatives of the government from Malaysia and from across Asia, the dedicated BICON organizers and partners, valued colleagues from civil society and fellow child rights protection practitioners, and above all, the inspiring 34 care experienced young people who are at the heart of this gathering, representing 7 different countries, and a very special thanks for the very inspiring message that we heard from Diksha and Surja to start us off this morning. What a great way to start this conference. It's an honor for UNICEF to be here today with you in Kuala Lumpur for children in Malaysia and across the region. Permit me to begin with a simple pantun or a poem, a reflection of Malaysia's spirit and shared promise, or as we refer to it as Janji Kita. Janji kita bukan sekadar kata, terusalam harapan, kasih dan erti, selagi wujud cinta keluarga, setiap anak berhak dilindungi. So for our non-Bahasa Melayu speakers, thank you very much. Thank you. Basically, how that translates into is that our promise is more than words. It is woven with hope, love, and meaning. And as long as family love endures, every child deserves protection. And I think that that is at the heart of our conference today, and I hope that it'll be something that we can stay with as we continue on with our discussions. So why are we here today? We gather at BICON around a simple yet powerful idea, that every child belongs in a safe, loving family environment. I think that that is the premise of basically all of our discussions that are starting today and will continue throughout the next couple of days. Yet we also know that across Asia and around the world, too many children are separated from their families, and those may be due to poverty, family disruption, lack of access to inclusive services, or other crises that may befall them. We've seen decades of research which have shown us a powerful truth. We know that institutionalization harms children's development, it affects their well-being, and affects their safety. We know that children in residential care often face lifelong consequences, such as developmental delays, psychological damage, and poorer education and health outcomes. The statistics globally are sobering. We know that 4 in 5 children living in residential care are in fact not orphans. Most of them have at least one living parent, families who with the right support could have kept these children at home. But this is what care reform is all about. It really to change the situation that currently exists, to create the conditions where every child can belong and where every family has the support that they need to be able to stay together. Since 2014, BICON has brought together changemakers across Asia in a growing regional movement to turn this vision into action, reforming care systems, strengthening families, ensuring that children are raised at home with love, safety, and dignity. Here in Kuala Lumpur, we're honored to be sort of the first expansion of this, going beyond South Asia to extend into Southeast Asia, and we look for growing movement and momentum in the years ahead as this expands into other areas of the world as well. So today, we renew that promise, our Janji Kita, our shared commitment to ensure that every child grows up in a family environment that reaches their full potential and is seen, heard, and protected. Ladies and gentlemen, we know what works when it comes to caring for children. This is not a big secret. This is something that we all know, but which we work towards implementing and ensuring for the safety and protection of our children. Our first responsibility must be to support families. And we can do this through varying ways. We can do this through parenting support, we can do this through social protection, And we can do this by providing inclusive community services that prevent family separation before it even happens. When separation is unavoidable, family-based alternatives should be the solution. And this includes various different modalities. This includes kinship care with extended family members and foster care, and that residential care should only ever be the last resort, temporary, closely monitored, and focused on eventual family reintegration. We also know other things. We know that strengthening families is the fiscally responsible thing to do. So not only is it a morally right thing to do, the right thing for children, but it also makes fiscal sense. And this is an important argument for governments who are looking to implement policies. We know that it is up to 10 times more costly to place a child in residential care than to support them within their own family. Meaningful care reform, something that all of us here are gathered to address, doesn't happen by goodwill alone. We can have all of the great intentions in the world, but we really need the support. We need clear laws and policies. We need reliable data on which those laws and policies are based. We need sustainable financing, and we need a skilled social service workforce. We've seen from evidence that several countries in Asia are demonstrating that change, and that change is possible when families are supported. Not too far from us, in Cambodia, for instance, the number of children living in residential care has fallen by more than 70%, a massive reduction in the numbers of families who are living in residential care, through investments that have taken place in family strengthening programs, in community-based support, and in the deployment of trained social workers. We look forward to hearing insights from delegates who are in this room, all of you here today, as well as from Cambodia, on how you have been able to advance care reform so that all of us can benefit as we move forward. So this is Malaysia's moment. Malaysia has long recognized that the family is the best environment for a child to grow, to learn, and to thrive. This principle is embedded in Malaysia's Child Act, which echoes the Convention on the Rights of the Child, and it is deeply rooted in Malaysian culture, where family is the foundation of society. We'd like to build on this foundation, and where Malaysia took an important step forward toward the family-based care pilot, launched in 2019, which was a clear sign of its commitment to keep children in families. UNICEF Malaysia is proud to have supported the Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development in this important initiative, in the early development of it, and stands ready to support in its expansion. Here in Malaysia, where the total number of children in residential care still remains unclear, we know that many live in unregistered or unregulated facilities, where the risks of neglect and abuse are higher. And this makes the impetus for care reform in Malaysia critical and urgent, to ensure that every child is visible, that every child is protected, and that every child is surrounded by the love and support of a family. UNICEF is a proud partner of BICON in bringing together global and regional experience, all of you here in this room today. Together, we can learn from one another and scale up what we know works. We are privileged to have members of the BICON Care Experience Reference Group with us today. This is a unique modality and one that we're very proud to see, and really is something that we would like to replicate in other fora that we carry out as we move forward. Your journeys remind us why this work matters, why it's important, and also what is at stake when systems fail to protect or support. You are what makes BICON exemplary. It's your voices, it's your lived experiences, and it's your unique insight, which are centered in each of the discussions that will follow. It's you who remind us that those who know the system best are the ones who should be leading in shaping the solutions. So before I close, let me call for 3 commitments to children. 3 commitments that I hope that all of us can take on as we move forward. 3 steps that we must take if Janji Kita, or our promise, is to become a reality. First, let us invest in the child protection system and the social service workforce so that families and children are able to get the support they need when they need it most. Second, Let us build systems of data and accountability so that children who are living in alternative care, especially those who are living in unregistered residential care, are not left invisible or at risk of harm. And third, let's commit to building strong families and expanding family-based care so that every child can experience the safety and belonging that only a family can provide. As the Malay saying goes, "Bagai aur dengan tebing," or like bamboo growing by the riverbank, children and families cannot stand alone. Janji kita, our promise, the promise of us all, is to stand with them. And we do that because it is in the strength of families that children find their own strength. And when children are empowered, societies thrive. So let us all here today commit to protecting all our children, regardless of circumstance, towards a shared future that is brighter for us all. Thank you very much.